Good evening, everyone. I'm Jenny McCabe, the president of Greater Cincinnati Pro Chapter of the Society of Professional Journalists. Welcome to our program this evening, the 2021 Excellence in Journalism Awards program. I want to welcome each of you this evening to our virtual celebration to help recognize the best in journalism of 2020 throughout the Greater Cincinnati, Dayton, and Northern Kentucky region. It's been a challenge for all of us. Every print and broadcast journalist, every photographer and videographer, every website and social media to be fair, balanced, and accurate. All of that took place during the continuing shrinking of newsrooms, staffs for many media outlets, the so-called do more with less thinking. That's why tonight we're focused not only on honoring our winners and finalists, but looking ahead to what the future holds for our profession. The theme of the program is what the public expects from journalists now, given the year that we've all been through. We're going to hear from a wide range of guests on the topic, starting with Matt Hall, the national president of the Society of Professional Journalists. Matt will join us by video tonight. He is also the editorial and opinion director of the San Diego Union Tribune. Welcome, Matt.
Hello to all my friends at the Greater Cincinnati Pro Chapter of SPJ. What a heck of a year you guys have had. Chapter of the year in September. And oh, by the way, we're all trying to make it through this pandemic and cover all the facets of the nation's racial justice reckoning. What a year. What can journalists expect in the year to come? How can the public trust us better? Those are two entwined questions that I know the journalists in Cincinnati will be asking and answering as 2021 becomes 2022, and we all struggle to do good work in a changing environment. Once again, you know, we'll be out in the public more, reopening with increasing intensity, and it'll be weird to be back in our offices, to be doing face-to-face interviews more often, but it's important and essential that we do those interviews, that we talk to our readers and listeners and viewers and impress upon them the importance of local journalism, why they should support it, why those interviews that we do are meaningful, why it's important that we involve the community in everything that we do. And I know you guys are up to the challenge in Cincinnati, as in other chapters of SPJ and other cities and towns across the country. It's never been more important to do incredible journalism, ethical journalism, responsible journalism. And I know that you all are going to do that. I have no question. I do have a question of whether the public is ready to embrace us with open arms. And I think, all you got to do is look at the Gallup polls that show trust in journalism is at a very low level. 70% in the 70s, and now it's down to 40%. So your work explaining the journalism that we do, why it matters, why it's important, will help turn the tide there. And maybe next year, 41% of the public will trust us. I kid, 42% is actually should be our goal. But in all seriousness, I do want to salute the good journalists of Cincinnati and say thank you for your service. Thank you for making SPJ the best organization anyone can belong to, and one that works in concert with other journalism organizations. We're all in this together. Cheers, Cincinnati. Keep doing the good work.
Thank you, Matt. We really appreciate that. I'm sorry for the delay, guys. I would like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for this evening for tonight's program. It's Tom McKee. He's the current treasurer of the Cincinnati SPJ, and he's the chairman of our contest. He's worked for WCPO 9 News for 40 years. He's currently retired, and he serves as an adjunct instructor in media production at the University of Cincinnati. Thank you, Tom, for all your hard work, and I'll let you continue our program this evening.
Thanks very much, Jenny. Just as a box score, so to speak, we had 206 entries in 59 categories for this year's contest, and the work submitted from the Cincinnati and Dayton markets was simply outstanding. Judging was done by members of the Arkansas SPJ Pro Chapter, and we thank them for their tireless efforts in selecting 59 winners and 69 finalists. Those winners and finalists came from 14 different media outlets and freelancers encompassing 114 individuals. The winners, of course, will receive a plaque listing the title of their entry, the media organization, and the names of the people involved in the story's production. The finalists are being presented with certificates with the same information recognizing their outstanding work. So let's begin the awards with our first presenter, Dwayne Pullman, the Chief Investigative Reporter for WKRC Local 12 and a Cincinnati SPJ Pro Chapter Board member. Dwayne, of course, is an award-winning journalist who covered the war in the Middle East, peace mission in Bosnia, and human rights issues in Central America. In his 3 decades in the business, Dwayne has worked for stations in Cleveland, Seattle, Milwaukee, and Raleigh, North Carolina. Our first awards that Dwayne will present are for written communication. Dwayne, take it away.
All right, thanks, Tom, and a pleasure to represent the board. We have the finest chapter here in Cincinnati of SPJ, in my opinion. I've worked in enough places to know I'm really honored to be here. I want to just say, as we move into these categories, remember, in this, the finalists, you finalists are winners too. Don't forget that you're being noted for your work. And while you didn't get first place, it's still a big deal. So with that, written communication best news story. The finalists are coverage of the arrest of Ohio's House Speaker on bribery charges, Jesse Balmert, Dan Horn, Sharon Coolidge, and Carl Weiser, the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. Also a finalist, the arrest of council member Tamaya Denard, Sharon Coolidge, Dan Horn, and Kevin Grasha, the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. And our winner in this category is tens of thousands of Ohioans told to repay unemployment benefits. Sid Standifer with Eye on Ohio. Congratulations to all of you. The next category for written communication is for best feature story. The finalists are Go With the Flow, Carrie Blackmore Smith, Cincinnati Magazine, and What's in a Name, Polk Laffoon IV, Cincinnati Magazine. The winner in this category is 1,000 Feet from the Top of the World. That's John Stoll, Cincinnati Magazine. Congratulations to all of you. The next category is for best breaking news coverage. The finalists are breaking news coverage of unrest after the death of George Floyd, Madeline Mitchell, Brianna Rice, Jenny Key, Segan March, Scott Wortman, Dan Horn, Sarah Brookbank, Sarah Hasselhorst, Cameron Knight, and Sharon Coolidge, and I'm sure a few others that aren't named, the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. Those are the finalists, and the winner is the death of Raya Milton, Madeline Mitchell, and Cameron Knight, the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. We move to our next category, which is best team coverage. The finalists are corruption in Cincinnati City Hall, Sharon Coolidge, Dan Horn, Kevin Grasha, and Hannah Sparling, the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. Also a finalist, Weathering the Storm, Cincinnati Magazine staff, Cincinnati Magazine. The winner for best team coverage is coverage of the pandemic. Ann Saker, Tara DeMio, or Mayo, I forgot which pronunciation, I apologize, Dan Horn, Jackie Borchardt, Mike Nyargis, Cameron Knight, Scott Wortman, and Mark Wirt. That's Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. Congratulations to all of you. We move now to the next category, Best Crisis Coverage. The finalists are COVID-19 coverage of Ann Saker. Ann Saker, the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com, and I Still Have Faith. Andy Brownfield and Chris Wetterich. That's Cincinnati Business Courier. The winner in this category is post George Floyd death coverage by the staff of the Cincinnati Enquirer. Cameron Knight, Dan Horn, Sharon Coolidge, Madeline Mitchell, Randy Tucker, Bob Strictly, Dion Thompson, Jesse Balmert, Brianna Rice, and Jenny Key, Cincinnati Enquirer and Cincinnati.com. And then the next category is Best Social Criminal Justice Reporting. The finalists are team coverage of crime and the pandemic, Cameron Knight, Ann Saker, Sharon Coolidge, Terry DeMio, or Mayo, Chris Mayhew, that's Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. And then the winner in this category, Police Watchdog Ignored, Max Lawnberg and Mike Niorgis, that's Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. Congratulations to all of you for those wins. We move now to Best Minority Issues Reporting. The finalists, Terry DeMaio, Dan Horn of the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. History repeating itself and the ways Cincinnatians stand up and show support. Jessica Esemplare and Kareem Simpson, Soapbox Cincinnati. The winner in this category is continuing coverage of minority issues. Fee Scruggs, Sydney Cornegay, Caitlin Hunt, Lee Chillicote, Connor Morris, there's a C missing in that, we apologize, Connor Morris, Maisha Wilson-Hedon, and Jordan Walker with Eye on Ohio. Congratulations to all of you. And then the Best Government Community Issues Reporting, we have the finalists reporting of Sharon Coolidge and Kevin Garasha. Sharon Coolidge and Kevin Garasha, Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. A User's Guide to Local Government was also a finalist. Cincinnati Magazine, staff, Cincinnati Magazine. The winner in this category, A City of Renters Where Renters Are Forgotten. Dan Horn and Sharon Coolidge, the Cincinnati Enquirer, and Cincinnati.com. Finally, written communication best investigative reporting. The finalists are Medical Marijuana Program, Jackie Borchardt, the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. Working to Live or Living to Work, Jim DeBross, Cincinnati Magazine. The winner in this category, Nursing Home Infections and Deaths, Dion Hampton, the Cincinnati Enquirer, and Cincinnati.com. The winner in this category. With that, I will turn it over to our Masters of Ceremony and for the rest of the program.
Wayne, thank you very much. Our next guest commentator on what the public will expect from journalists going forward is Kevin Aldridge, the Cincinnati Enquirer's opinion editor. He describes his job as engaging with the community in thoughtful dialogue of hot topics. And there's been no shortage of that this past year. You can rest assured of that. Aldridge is the former editor of the Hamilton Journal News and the Middletown Journal, and prior to that, he was the Ideas and Voices editor for the Dayton Daily News. He's also a senior pastor at St. Paul AME Church in Milford. Here's Kevin Aldridge via video.
Past year has been a very interesting one for us as a country and for us who work in the business of journalism. With the pandemic, with corruption locally at Cincinnati City Hall, and with the George Floyd case, and of course our national presidential election. And I think what the public should expect from us as journalists is more of the same, more of our dogged pursuit of the truth, checking the facts and making sure that the information that we're putting out there to the public is not only informative and gives them the best information that they have so that they can go forward and live healthy and productive lives, but also holds public officials accountable for their actions, does good investigations, and doesn't take things at face value, but we dig deep. So I think the public should expect for us to continue to abide by the principles of journalism, making ethical choices and decisions, and just continuing to pursue the truth to the best of our ability, and to also own up to it when we make mistakes, when we don't quite get the story right, or don't quite tell it completely. And I think us being more transparent in terms about how we go about doing our job, and explaining some of the decisions that we make when appropriate, also will not hurt us, or doesn't hurt us as well. So I think those are all things that the public should look forward to and expect from us moving forward.
Kevin, thank you very much. Our next presenter is Kristen Swilley, a WCPO TV 9 News reporter who was recently promoted to the weekend morning anchor desk for the station. Swilley began her career as a student journalist at Florida A&M University, go Rattlers, and progressed through 13 WMAZ TV in Macon, Georgia, before coming to Cincinnati. She's currently a board member of the Cincinnati SPJ Pro Chapter and a member of the Greater Cincinnati Association of Black Journalists. Kristen, take it away for the Broadcast Communication Awards.
Absolutely, Tom. And thank you so much to everyone watching tonight. First year being on the board, first time presenter. So excited to present our Broadcast Communication Awards. So here we go. All right. First finalist, Fox 19's Chris Riva in the category of Broadcast Communication for Best News Story, The Arrest of P.G. Sittenfeld. Our next finalist in this category was Cincinnati Public Radio, Tana Weingartner, for Black Americans following CDC mask guidelines can be a fraught decision. And our winner, I'm sorry, Tana, you won. I'm so sorry about that. For Black Americans following mask guidelines can be a fraught decision. Congratulations to you. All right, for our best feature story finalists, Kristen Swilley and Andy Overton with WCPO 9, 14-year-old honor student at Cincinnati's first Black Annie. And our winner is WCPO 9's Evan Millward. A book and a family tree uncover Hamilton's little-known role in gay liberation. Congrats to Evan. Our next category, best breaking news coverage. First finalist, Tana Weingartner with Cincinnati Public Radio. 2001 protest leaders urge youth to build on our accomplishments. Second finalist, the Fox 19 Now staff with the Brent Spence Bridge Fire. And our winner is the Fox 19 Now staff for the George Floyd protest. For best team coverage, our winner is The Arrest of P.G. Sittenfeld by Chris Riva, Jason Scott, and Peyton Bradley with Fox 19 Now. For best crisis coverage, our finalists are Trevor Peters with Fox 19 Now for the Bethel protest, and the Fox 19 Now staff for the George Floyd protest. And our winners with WCPO 9, Courtney Francisco, Andrew Overton, and Matthew Wood for City Erupts in Protest. Congrats to them. For best minority issues coverage, our finalists are Kristen Swilley, Minority Issues Reporting, Kristen Swilley with WCPO 9, and Childhood Poverty, Cincinnati's Crisis by Stephanie Kuzadin, Eric Gerhardt, Megan Mongillo, and Walter Smith Randolph with Local 12. Then the best minorities issues coverage winner is for Black Americans following CDC guidelines can be a fraught decision by Tana Weingartner. And the best government/community issues reporting winner is Dwayne Pullman and Eric Frisbee for Warrant for Concern. The best investigative reporting winner is, again, Dwayne Pullman and Eric Frisbee with Local 12 for Drifting Death. And our best continuing coverage or series finalists are Dwayne Pullman and Eric Frisbee with Drifting Death, and Jason Scott and Chris Riva with Ohio's Unemployment Crisis. Our best continuing coverage or series winner, Stephanie Kuzadem and Eric Gerhardt, Athletes at Risk. Thank you. We'll send it on back to Tom.
Thank you very much, Kristen. And one of the things I want to point out too is we have released this list of winners and finalists on our social media site so that people can take a look at. And there are some judges' comments that people can look at that they can see for the winners categories too. So the winners, congratulations. You can look at those those comments rather on our website. Our next presenter for the topic of what public expects from journalism in the future is Liz Engel, a reporter with the Cincinnati Business Courier. She covers healthcare, startups, innovation, and education. Prior to that, Engel was a contributor to Forbes magazine and a freelance writer for both Cincy magazine and WCPO TV. She previously worked as an editor and reporter for the Upper Cumberland Business Journal in Cookeville, Tennessee. Here on video is Liz Engel.
Liz Engel with the Cincinnati Business Courier. I've been asked to talk a little bit about maybe what the public can expect from the media in the next year, especially given all that's happened over the last 15 months. And I think we can all agree that we would be extremely thankful to never write or speak the words COVID or pandemic ever again. I also think a lot of good has come out of this time. You know, there's more focus than ever before on inclusion and diversity in stories. And I think we've always been intentional about including multiple sources, but I think people are willing to share their stories as long as we're willing to ask, and businesses are excited to share the lessons that they've learned. Information is moving faster than ever, and it's up to us to really keep stuff digestible for our readers. And I think we just need to be increasingly visible as well as the world starts to open up. We've all kind of been hunkered down and getting back out and getting to know the people in our communities again. Of course, things will continue to change rapidly, and I just look forward to seeing what shakes out over the next year and beyond. Thanks.
Thank you, Liz. Our next presenter with more written communication awards is Jenny Wolfarth, and is professor of journalism at the University of Cincinnati, where she's been, teaching aspiring young journalists since 2000. She's also been a magazine journalist herself since 1993 and can contribute to numerous national magazines as a freelance writer and as a contributing editor at Cincinnati Magazine. She's also vice president of the Cincinnati SPJ Pro Chapter and advisor to the UC Student SPJ Chapter. Jenny, take it away for more written communication awards.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom, for that intro. And thanks to everybody again for coming tonight. We're excited to celebrate with you all. So the first category I'm going to be telling you about is the best continuing coverage or series category. Finalists for this category, Alex Coolidge from the Cincinnati Enquirer for the story Tracking Fallout from COVID-19 Crisis. The winner in this category is the Fight for Hospital Capacity Data in Ohio with a team of reporters, Bonnie Jean Feldkamp, Kathy Ann Kowalski, Boniface Wamber, Lucia Walinchus, which I hope I'm saying correct, Lucia, with media outlet Ion Ohio. And here are the judges' comments for this. Oh, I'm getting reinforcement from Dwayne there that I got it right. Thanks, Dwayne. Here are the judges' comment for this winning entry. Excellent, vital, and well-written work. The reporters didn't shy away from following an important public records battle and explaining why it should matter to readers. When Ion Ohio got the data it fought for, it created regularly updated charts that enabled the public to see where hospitals experienced bed and equipment shortages throughout the state. Congratulations to the finalists and winners in that category. The next category, Best Business Consumer News Story. Finalist, David Holthouse for Soapbox Cincinnati for the story, The COVID-19 Economy, How Businesses Adapted, plus Pandemic-Proof Jobs. And the winner in this category is Jim DeBross for Cincinnati Magazine for his story, Lordstown's new electric Kool-Aid acid test. Here are the judges' comments. Solid, thorough reporting with the right amount of context and balance. This was especially well done considering that Burns himself would not give the reporter an interview. So congratulations to the winners and finalists in that category. Next category, best business feature, analysis, or column. Finalist, Alex Coolidge for his story, The Coronavirus Recession and the Recovery with the Cincinnati Enquirer. And the winner of this category is Liz Engel for The Little Lab That Could for the Cincinnati Business Courier. And the judges comment, the lead drew me into the story, and once I started, I couldn't stop reading because it flowed so well. Good use of quotes too. So congratulations, Liz. Next category, best education story. Finalists in this category are Max Lundberg and Ambriel Crutchfield for their story In 6 Home Classrooms, Families Keep Learning Alive in a Pandemic for the Cincinnati Enquirer. The winner for this category, coincidentally, also Max Lundberg for his story Meager Results for Ohio Vouchers for the Cincinnati Enquirer. And here are the judges' comments. Excellent investigative and data work that demonstrates a clear discrepancy between the performance of public schools versus private schools that benefited from taxpayer-funded vouchers. Great work. Congratulations for the winners and finalists in that category. Next category, best reporting on child, youth, or teen issues. Finalist, Lucy May for WCPO TV9 News for her story, Northern Kentucky's Homeless Youth Search for Help, Hope During Pandemic. Second finalist, Bonnie Jean Feldkamp, a series of freelance articles that focus on kids. That was in various media outlets. And the winner of this category, Terry DeMio and Jesse Balmert for the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com for their story, Children's Issues Coverage by Terry DeMio and Jesse Balmert, actually a series of stories. And the judges' comments, these stories handled some important and sensitive topics with grace. They were well written, informative, and well researched. Excellent work. Congratulations. Next category, best health medical story. Finalist in this category, Ann Saker for reporting of Ann Saker for the Cincinnati Enquirer and Cincinnati.com. And she was beat by Ann Saker. It was a very big contest between the two halves of Ann Saker, but Ann Saker won. And she won with the health writing portfolio of Ann Saker for the Cincinnati Enquirer. So that's what I think you call a clean sweep, but I'm not a sports person. Here are the judges' comments. A live and diverse portfolio spanning both public health and wellness, tied closely with current topics of note, including police violence and racial justice. Congratulations to both Anns who wonderfully competed with each other in that category. Just kidding. There were other competitors, but congratulations, Ann. You killed it. Okay, next category, best environmental science story. Finalists, Michelle Day for Cincinnati Magazine for the story, The Art of Science. And the winner is a story called Energy and Environmental Coverage with a multitude of entrants, including Kathy Ann Kowalski, Bonnie Jean Feldkamp, Mark Olalde, Lucia Walinchus, and Ken Paulman. Their media outlet was Eye on Ohio, and here's the judges' comment. Good use of data, and the writers didn't lose the human element of the story, where it could add to the story and keep the reader engaged. Solid reporting. Congratulations to all the winners and finalists in that category. Next category, best editorial. Finalists for this category, there are two finalists for this category. One is Kevin Aldridge for the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com for the editorial portfolio by Kevin Aldridge. The second finalist is Patty Newberry, also for the Cincinnati Enquirer and Cincinnati.com, and also Quill Magazine for commentary pieces on journalism. And the winner for best editorial, Don Mooney for Cincy Magazine for Another View. Judges' comment, practical and perceptive commentary supported but not overwhelmed by research. Basically wise. So congratulations to the winners and finalists in that category. And now I'll turn it back to Tom McKee.
Jenny, thank you very much for your excellent presentation there. A little humor all throughout, very nice. The next video on journalism's future comes from Kyle Inskeep, one of the main anchors at WKRC TV Local 12. Inskeep worked in both Indianapolis and Terre Haute, Indiana, before coming to Cincinnati from WXIN TV. He's also currently president of the Greater Cincinnati Association of Black Journalists. Here is Kyle Inskeep via video.
Hey there, I'm Kyle Inskeep, one of the evening anchors here at Local 12, and also the president of the Greater Cincinnati Association of Black Journalists. I am so honored to be with you all tonight virtually for this incredible event. Wanted to stop by really quickly and thank all of the journalists here in Cincinnati, specifically the members of the SPJ chapter here, for all of your hard work this past year. It's been a really difficult, trying and exhausting year on so many fronts for journalists all across the country. I mean, we were covering a pandemic. None of us have lived through that before. We were also covering racial justice, social justice. And then on top of that, last year, we were also covering a presidential election. So it was like every month, there was another major story. Actually, it seemed like every day there was another major story. So my advice to all of you is to take some time to relax. If you have some paid time off, take it. Even if you just stay right here in Cincinnati, have a staycation. It's really easy to get burnt out coming off a year like the one that we have all experienced. So take some time to yourself, relax, just tune everything out. I love not looking at my cell phone for like 24 hours. I know it's hard as a newsie, but take some time to yourself and continue to do incredible work. I have never been more proud to be a journalist, and I've never been more proud to be working here in Cincinnati because I am surrounded by colleagues, not only in the television industry, but also in the print and the radio industries, and even in the new media industry, who are putting out some incredible content. So thank you for all of your work. Enjoy tonight, and hopefully next year, 2022, we can all be together for the celebration of all of the fantastic journalism happening here in Cincinnati.
All right, thank you very much, Kyle. A very good point there about mental health, taking care of your own mental health as a journalist. A lot of programs this past year by the chapter focused on that very topic. The next presenter continues with more broadcast communication awards, and that's Bill Ferguson Jr. He's a man of many, many talents, currently an independent communications consultant, but does freelance writing for Cincy Magazine, including the cover story and project called Rating the Burbs. In addition, he's a board member of the Hamilton County Educational Service Center and the Great Oaks Career Campuses. Prior to that, he held a wide range of community management positions at the Cincinnati Enquirer. Don't want to forget to say that he's also a member of the SPJ board at the present time. Bill, you're on.
Thanks, Tom. I'd like to give Tom a big shout out as well for the work he put into this contest. We really appreciate it. Just awesome work. We also appreciate all of you who've joined us this evening. Now for the second part of the Broadcast Communication Awards, we start with the category Best Business Consumer Reporting. The winner in this category is Trevor Peters with WXIX TV Fox 19 Now, Distillery Sanitizer. The judge said, this was a well-done report on an important issue during the pandemic. The reporter did a great job of allowing business owners to share their concerns and frustrations with the government taxing them for using their distilleries to solve the issue of the hand sanitizer shortage. Great job. Next category is Best Education Reporting. We have two finalists. One, Tana Weingartner with 91.7 WVXU. Miami U dropped its race-based mascot 20 years ago, sees benefits today. Another finalist, Stephanie Kuzadum, Christian Hauser, and Walter Smith Randolph. Test scores, risk, and inequities. WKRC TV Local 12. And the winner in this category is COVID Back to School Special, Jason Scott, WXIX TV, Fox 19 Now. Excellent reporting, strong visuals, and a great public service, the judges said. Next category is Best Reporting on Child, Youth, Teen Issues. Stephanie Kuzadum and Eric Gearhart win this category, from EAPs to AEDs. WKRC TV, Local 12, judges comment, this series is very valuable, and I'm glad to see this team take an in-depth look at it. Next category is Best Health Medical Reporting, and we have two finalists. One is Ann Thompson with 91.7 WVXU, researchers zeroing in on blood vessels to prevent COVID long haulers. The next finalist is Jason Scott, Jessica Smith, and Peyton Bradley. Ghost Surgeries, and they're with WXIX TV, Fox 19 now. And the winner of this category, Dwayne Pullman and Eric Frisbee, Chamber of Hope, WKRC TV Local 12. The judges comment, a strong series of stories about hyperbaric oxygen therapy, typically associated with deep sea divers, and its use in treating traumatic brain injury among veteran football players, and its possible use as an alternative to placing oxygen-depleted COVID-19 patients on ventilators. Best sports feature story. Joe Daneman, Going the Distance is the winner. He's with WXIX TV, Fox 19 now. Judges comment, oh my gosh, this story brought tears to my eyes. Best documentary. Finalist is WXIX TV, Fox 19 now staff with Bigger Than a Moment. And the winner is Cincinnati Enquirer staff, 2020, the year that revealed us. Judges' comments, from the first note of the background music and first words spoken by the narrator, it's obvious this piece is a winner. Amazing video work from a primarily print web publication. Next category is Best Special Event Coverage. Tana Weingartner is the winner with 91.7 WVXU. Pence in Cincinnati, the road to victory runs through Ohio. Judges comment, nice use of sound bites while it's still telling a story along with the event. Nice job. Next category, Best Podcast. We have a finalist here, and that is Sharon Coolidge and Jason Williams with the Cincinnati Enquirer. That's So Cincinnati podcast. The winner is 91.7 WVXU, Michael Monks and Selena Reeder. Cincinnati edition, June 1st. Peaceful protests, nighttime clashes and arrests take place in Cincinnati over the weekend. Judges comment, superbly produced, strong use of actualities, highly polished yet conversational tone. And finally, in the final broadcast category, we have Best Videographer. And that is a videographer composite by Matthew Wood of WCPO TV 9 News. A strong video portfolio, the judge says, effective visually with nice emotional touches. Congratulations to both finalists and winners. As pointed out earlier, if you're a finalist, you're still a winner. And now back to Tom McKee.
Bill, thank you very much. Our next video comes from a man with more than 4 decades of broadcast news experience. He is Chip Mahaney, the emerging talent leader for the E.W. Scripps Company based here in Cincinnati and the parent company of WCPO TV. They own over 61 television stations in 45 U.S. markets. Prior to that, he was WCPO TV's news director and has worked with TV stations owned by Fox, Raycom, Gannett, and Belo. Here is Chip Mahaney.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chip Mahaney with the E.W. Scripps Company based in Cincinnati. Of course, I've been a resident of Cincinnati for 13 years, with the company for those same 13 years. 3 of those years were as a news director at WCPO. I can see the great work that journalists in our community do every day, and I thank you for it. Congratulations to all the nominees and award recipients, and keep fighting. In many ways, 2021 continues to serve as a coda or an epilogue to 2020, both in terms of the pandemic and the election. We all know now it will take even more time to put 2020 behind us. And so if I'm offering any kind of prediction or any helpful advice, it's about staying focused on the long game. I know you've heard this line time and time again over many years, but now more than ever, our communities need quality journalism based on facts and multiple perspectives. We live in a country that relishes in its divisions, where it's tribal and separated as much as I've ever seen us. Even what should have been a universal enemy for all of us, a virus, has spotlighted and antagonized the bitter separations and isolations that already exist among us. So my advice and my plea, stick with it. Don't give up. Fight to report facts that will lead to truths. Fight to report stories from multiple perspectives so that the journalism you produce can shine light on the community you serve. It's not new advice, but as I said before, now more than ever, we need you and we need your journalism. Have a great night. Thank you.
Chip Mahaney, thank you very much. That leads us to our next presenter, Corinne Menard, finishing the Written Communication Awards. She's currently the managing editor of Cincy magazine and oversees numerous other publications, too many to mention. And Corinne also says she's always tired for that reason. Can't figure out why. Corinne, can you?
No, no one knows. It's a mystery. I'm also secretary of the board of SPJ, so I'm the chapter here. So it hasn't been said yet, but if you're not a member of SPJ, I would highly consider it. This is a group of incredibly helpful people that are they're incredible resources. So if you haven't considered joining, I think maybe you should. We've been doing some fantastic programming over the last year, and the things we have coming up are even better. But we will start with the last section of the written category. So my first category, we have best arts entertainment reporting. We have 2 finalists. So Theta Bara is Finally Making Noise by Steve Rosen with Cincinnati Magazine, and work of Keith Pandolfi with Cincinnati.com. And I will apologize. I sit behind a desk a lot. I'm maybe butchering all of your names, and I'm sorry. And then our winner is Portfolio of Keith Pandolfi, Cincinnati.com. The judges comment, loved the intimacy of your writing, drawing your reader into the places and neighborhoods that comprise these pieces. Next category is Best Arts and Entertainment Critique. We have 2 finalists. Hillbilly Elegy, View from a Middletuckian by Dan Sewell with the Cincinnati Enquirer, and work of Keith Pandolfi with the Cincinnati Enquirer. And our winner is Rise Up, Marvelous Hamilton, Still a Diverse Triumph by Russell Florence Jr. with the Dayton Daily News. Judges comment, not only was this piece elegantly written, but it also provided an in-depth exploration of the subject. Our next category is Best News Sports Blog. We have a winner, Heartland, by Adam Baum, Shelley Dermer, and Melanie Lawman with the Cincinnati Enquirer. Judges comment, I love this entry, well written and compelling. Next category, Best Sports Reporting. We have 1 finalist, Portfolio of Tyler Dragon, Cincinnati Enquirer. And our winner is Portfolio of Bobby Nightingale with the Cincinnati Enquirer. Judges comment, a well-rounded contest submission that illustrates the author's writing and reporting skills. All 3 articles were easy reads. Next category is Best Sports Feature. We have 2 finalists for this one. The Boys of Summer, 1858 by John Arardi with Cincinnati Magazine, and No Doubt by Chad Dotson with Cincinnati Magazine. And our winner is Sports Feature by Paul Doherty with 1975 World Series Replay with the Cincinnati Enquirer. Splendid writing, carried a very close contest for top honors. Next category is Best Magazine Reporting. We have 2 finalists for this one. First is Humanity is Their Job by Gil Kaufman with Cincinnati Magazine. And our finalist is Back to Nature. Another finalist is Back to Nature, Amy Brownlee with Cincinnati Magazine. And our winner is also Cincinnati Magazine, All of Us Together by Bob Driehaus. Judges comment, love the description of places to go with various facts, wins in a very close contest for top 3. Next category is Best Newspaper Magazine Design. We have 2 finalists. We have work of Clay Sisk with the Cincinnati Enquirer and work of Jason Bredihoft with the Cincinnati Enquirer. And our winner is Cincinnati Magazine for the June 2020 issue. Judges comment, the overall look of this magazine is beautiful. Well done. Next category is Best Website Design. We have 1 finalist. We have Guy Kelly for CincyMagazine.com. And our winner is CincinnatiMagazine.com. Judges comment, clear mobile design, easy to navigate, and well edited. Next category is Best News Photography. We have 1 finalist, Cincinnati Black Lives Matter protest photos by Ty Sims and Michael Mitchell for the Cincinnati Enquirer. And our winner is Portfolio of Liz Dufour with the Cincinnati Enquirer. Judges comment, every photo told a story, and the judges' composition was good throughout. Next category is best sports photography. We have a winner. It's portfolio of Kareem El-Ghazar with the Cincinnati Enquirer. Judges comment, this photographer's portfolio is fantastic. From the look of the football players making great plays to the capturing of fans watching the game, each photo is well framed and has exquisite composition. And then I think it's back to you, Tom.
Okay, Corinne, thank you very much. Appreciate it very much. Next presenter, Janelle Walton. There isn't much this person hasn't done in the communications profession. She's currently Vice President of Content for Cincinnati Public Radio, of course, the owner of WVXU in Cincinnati and WMUB in Oxford. Prior to that, she was a Vice President for the Cincinnati USA Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Vice President for the Urban League of Greater Southwestern Ohio. Her broadcast experience came as both a reporter for WLWT-TV and the reporter anchor with WCPO 9 News. Here is Janelle Walton.
Hi there, I'm Janelle Walton, Vice President of Content at Cincinnati Public Radio, where we have 91.7 WVXU. And that's really an interesting question. What should the public expect from journalists moving forward after everything that happened this past year? I think one of the things they're really looking for is a reporter who is authentic, who is real, and who's not afraid to share their point of view, maybe give some insight and perspective on the story in a different way, going beyond just the who, what, when, where, and why of the story. One of the things we're doing at WVXU is we're looking at trying to bring in some more diverse voices on our air and really doing that through podcasting. We have some great examples of that happening now on our air. Maybe you've heard of This American Life, Snap Judgment, the Moth Radio Hour. These storytellers do such an excellent job of interviewing people, getting their true life experiences, but then also at the same time, they are giving their point of view without making the story sound like they're biased in one way or the other. So special art in the way they ask those questions. So I would encourage you to check out some of those shows and maybe even consider starting a podcast yourself. I'm sure many of you may already have started one, but I think that's a great way to let the public kind of see your authentic self. Before I go, I want to say congratulations to the SPJ award winners. I continue to watch all of your work. It's all great stuff. Continue to keep up the good job. And thank you for inviting me to share my perspective. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Janelle Walton. And next up, we have the Best of Show Awards going to be presented by Hagit Lamore. She's got a wealth of experience, of course, in broadcast journalism, journalism education, and advocacy for the profession at local, state, and national levels. She's currently a professor of media production at the University of Cincinnati. You might have seen this last year. She produced the award-winning documentary Hope After Hate, which aired on WCPO TV. The project took her to Poland and Germany to retrace her father's steps as a Nazi prisoner during World War II. It detailed his journey as a childhood Holocaust survivor to come to the United States to become a husband, father, and mentor. Of course, Hagit worked for WCPO I-Team for many years and was also an investigative reporter with WXIX-TV. She's been very active in SPJ. She's currently the vice president of the SPJ Foundation nationally. She served as SPJ national president and was both president and treasurer of the Greater Cincinnati SPJ Pro Chapter. And she remains a board member of our organization at the local level. Hagit, this floor is yours.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom, and thank you for putting together this event and all of your work. Really, to the entire board, I want to say thank you. You guys are wonderful. And for those of you who are watching, we would love to welcome you to our chapter. This has been quite the year. We're coming out of it. I hope everyone has a wonderful summer ahead, and let's celebrate with our Best of Show Awards. So we're going to start with the Best Overall Written Reporter. The finalists are the portfolio of Dan Horn from the Cincinnati Enquirer and Cincinnati.com and Sharon Coolidge with the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. The winner tonight is the portfolio of Keith Bier, I cannot pronounce this, Biergolic. And I tried, I really practiced it too. And for someone whose name is Hagit Lamore, there's no excuse for mispronouncing anybody's name. So my apologies, Keith. But you are the winner tonight. And let me tell you a little about what the judges said about your work for the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. They said you are a fine writer with a breezy conversational style and excellent storytelling chops. With a phrase or word or two, you draw vivid pictures of story subjects, write with a passion and compassion about lives that matter and lives that make a difference. So congratulations to you, Keith. The next category is Best Overall Broadcast Reporter. And we have a couple of finalists here. First, Kristen Swilley from WCPO TV News and WCPO.com. And the other finalist is Walter Smith Randolph with WKRC TV Local 12, Local12.com. The winner of this section tonight is Dwayne Pullman, the chief investigative reporter of WKRC TV, Local 12 and Local12.com. And the judges said, I can tell Dwayne is a seasoned professional, and the selection of clips presented a very effective picture of his talents. Congratulations, Dwayne. The next category is Best of Show Multimedia Journalist, and the winner is the portfolio of Jenny McCabe by the president of this chapter, Jenny McCabe, writing for the Northern Kentucky magazine. The judges said these types of articles can sometimes feel mailed in, but yours did not, showing a genuine care for the subject matter and respect for the reader. Congratulations. Next category is the Best Overall Columnist Commentary. Best of Show. We have a couple of finalists. The portfolio of Jason Williams from the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com, and the portfolio of Paul Doherty from the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. And the winner tonight is the column portfolio of Kevin Aldridge with the Cincinnati Enquirer, Cincinnati.com. And the judges said, powerful, pithy columns. The one on Smitherman's decision to put his family before political ambition and the one on the aftermath of George Floyd's murder really stand out. Next category, Best of Show for Best Television Newscast. And the winner tonight is Fox 19, 10 o'clock news. And the staff is the entrant and the winner. And the judges said, good mix of stories, well shot and well written. Congratulations. Now for the Best Overall Radio News Anchor. And the Best of Show is Marianne Zalesnik with Cincinnati Public Radio, 91.7 WVXU, WVXU.org. So next up, Best of Show, Best Radio Newscast is WVXU News Team with Cincinnati Public Radio, 91.7 WVXU and WVXU.org. Congratulations to our fine public radio station. I'm a fan of your work. Best newspaper for Best of Show is the Cincinnati Enquirer. Congratulations to the staff. The judges say the Cincinnati Enquirer's entry included an interesting range of stories from the rise of meth addiction, love in the age of COVID-19, the reinvestigation of a mysterious 36-year-old disappearance and one death, internet access difficulties in Appalachia, and a special section on how people are making it through a challenging 2020. So congratulations to you. Then Best of Show, Best Magazine. Cincy Magazine, congratulations to being a finalist. And the winner, Cincinnati Magazine. And the judges say it showed amazing layout and writing, eye-catching, engaging writing. Best website for Best of Show. The finalists are the digital presence of Cincinnati.com, the Enquirer, and WVXU.org with the entrant Jennifer Merritt. So the two finalists, congratulations. The winner is CincinnatiMagazine.com. And the judges said, great visually pleasing layout and use of art elements. The drop-down menus under the header make navigation easy, and having the digital copies displayed on the right with a number of followers and newsletters that people can sign up for is a nice touch. Congratulations. One more award And then I'll turn it back over to Tom McKee. The best of show, best overall freelance reporting, Jenny McCabe's portfolio as a finalist for Northeast Ohio Parent Magazine. The winner, David Holthouse, and he writes for a number of outlets, including Cincinnati Business Courier, Cincinnati Magazine, Soapbox Media, Cincy Magazine, and other publications. And the judges say, David is a very accomplished, very versatile journalist. Well done. And I echo that. Well done to all of our best of show winners. Congratulations. And here's to looking at the great coverage that you will be doing in the next year. Back to you, Tom.
Hagit, thank you very much. Just a promotional note. If you haven't seen Hagit's special, check it out online. It's very, very moving, very, very moving, very informative, very well done. The byline of Sharon Coolidge has been mentioned a number of times tonight. It's often visible on the front page of the Cincinnati Enquirer and on the top stories of Cincinnati.com. Her work as the City Hall reporter has been key to the paper's coverage of all the corruption we've experienced at Cincinnati City Hall the past year. She's also been part of teams delving into every possible aspect of the COVID-19 pandemic. Here are the thoughts of Sharon Coolidge, again, on video tonight.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sharon Coolidge. I'm the City Hall reporter at the Cincinnati Enquirer, although I've held many beats over the years here. And I support Cincinnati SPJ from the very bottom of my heart and all they're doing. You know, but this has been a year like none other. And I know everyone watching it feels that way and what we have all been through. And I cannot tell you how amazed I've been. Honestly, you know, I work from my guest room and I'm a writer, but I have seen you all out there, you know, television reporters working from their living room in makeshift television studios, our radio reporters, they're in their closets. And I think pretty much photojournalists, you know, N95 masks, they're out there on the front lines for TV and for the, you know, our print newspaper. And they're just, I'm so proud. And I think that we have all learned so many important lessons about what we do. The news keeps coming. We can't stop because there's a pandemic. And we go out there and we do. We go out there, we're in marches for George Floyd. We are in our hospitals in full PPE and telling people the news that they need to know. Now, I'm not sure that everyone resonated. You know, the consumption has skyrocketed. And I hope that people understand how important our jobs are, but we don't need that thank you. We don't. We just keep doing our jobs every day. And we learned that we're going to keep asking the tough questions and we can do this job no matter what is happening in our world. And we all do it because we love it. That I definitely know. I know because that's how I feel. So, you know, as we come out of this year, the pandemic, you know, a reckoning with Black Lives Matter, and, you know, corruption in City Hall that we've all been covering and watching. We're just going to keep telling the stories that help make our city a better place to live. And so, you guys, thank you very much.
Sharon Coolidge, thank you very much for your very sage advice. We're now at the part of the program where there are 3 awards left to present, and they're the most important in this contest. At least that's what the chapter feels. Here to present the First Amendment Award is Brianna Rice, the breaking news reporter for the Cincinnati Enquirer, and a new board member of SPJ as well. Brianna, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be here and honored to be presenting this award today. So, a free press is essential in a democracy, and this award honors an individual journalist or group of journalists in any medium going to extraordinary lengths to protect the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. The award recognizes excellence as journalists face constant challenges from governments, corporations, or individuals trying to interrupt the free flow of information. Sorry, a little nervous, but so our finalists, after 7 months legal battle, Ion, Ohio wins public records lawsuit over hospital capacity numbers, and that is Bonnie Jean Feldkamp, Kathy Ann Kowalski, Lucia Wallenchus, Brian Bardell, and Boniface Womber for Ion, Ohio. We have another finalist, the BLM Protest Night Highlights from Andy Overton at WCPO. And the winner is the First Amendment work by the Inquirer from the Cincinnati Inquirer staff at Cincinnati.com. I'll read you a few of the comments. At a time when too few news organizations chance taking public officials to court over fear of unwelcome precedent, the Inquirer successfully challenged a denial access to public records twice. So brave and vital work. Thank you. Back to Tom.
Brianna, thank you very much. Nicely done. Again, one of our newest board members. We'll have you back for sure in another year. Larry Seward is a Cincinnati native who came home to the Queen City 2 years ago to work as a reporter for WCPO TV after reporting jobs in both Houston and Kansas City. He's an Ohio University graduate who is regularly staff member to the high school summer journalism workshop coming up next month. Here is Larry on video.
Hi there, SPJ. Larry Seward, WCPO 9 News. I think as we move forward in coming months, the public can still expect to hear a lot more about COVID-19 and vaccines and vaccination rates. As we move into the summer months, we know that the infection rates of COVID-19 tend to drop as people spend more time outdoors. But we're still, at least at this recording, some 24 points away from herd immunity, 24 percentage points. And the remaining group tend to be the most reluctant. And so there are some new strategies that are about to launch that will aim to try to do more. I know we've had the vaccine lotteries. I know we've had walk-up clinics, free scholarships, etc. But one of the things I think you'll hear more of is the marriage of testing and vaccines. But this discussion is not going away anytime soon.
Larry, thank you very much. To present the next award, we turn once again to UC journalism professor and Greater Cincinnati SPJ Pro Chapter Vice President, Jenny Wolfrecht. Jenny?
This time I'm going to be on my best behavior. So, all right. So I do have the honor of announcing the Camilla Warwick Award. This award honors journalists in any medium who use their professional role to make an impact on people in the community. It's named for the late Cincinnati Enquirer and Cincinnati Post reporter and columnist Camilla Warwick. We have a finalist in this category. That's Dave Holthouse for Soapbox Media for his story On the Ground, One Neighborhood's Turnaround. And the winner is the Cincinnati Enquirer staff for the entry called Addiction Coverage. It was a whole series, and it's the whole team, the Cincinnati Enquirer team, Cincinnati.com. And here's what the judges said. This in-depth reporting package from the CincinnatiInquirer.com Enquirer team stands out for centering on the voices of people living with addiction and in recovery. In its focus on methamphetamine, it describes an underexplored area of a national substance abuse epidemic and rightly identifies the core issue as addiction, not one particular substance. The package includes a surprising history of meth and a poignantly written account of employment struggles of people in recovery, and reports on how meth affects Ohioans and the ways in which the pandemic has torn rents in the area's treatment fabric. But most important, the work goes beyond the anecdote and truly gives voice to the voiceless, one of journalists' most critical public service obligations. So congratulations to the finalists and the winner in that category, and back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Jenny. We heard from Kristen Swilley earlier in person during the program as she presented some of the awards. Now she's back with her thoughts on the public's expectation for journalists going forward. Kristen, take it away.
2020 was a year that challenged the world in our field in ways most of us never imagined. And as an African-American journalist, it came with a special sense of responsibility. Like those throughout the industry, we were tasked with covering a first-of-its-kind presidential election, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the epidemic of systemic racism this country and our city still reckons with today. It felt like, at many times, we'd never been more divided, never shared less common ground. and that's probably true. But a little more than a year ago, as the virus was tightening its grip on the globe, the world turned its eye to Minneapolis in the case of George Floyd, bringing a sense and level of accountability that this movement for a fully realized sense of humanity had not seen until now. And we were there to capture it. From the print photographer on the ground as protesters moved through the streets, to the reporter tracking down the tough interview with those leading the charge, to the news anchor delivering the content to the audience. If you were Black, it wasn't just news, though. We saw ourselves reflected in the work. So, what is our responsibility, our duty as journalists as a whole, and how has it evolved? In many ways, it's becoming about returning to the principles our craft was based on. It's about following the code of ethics that the Society of Professional Journalists has extolled for more than a century and the Cincinnati Pro Chapter has worked to uphold. But it's also about acknowledging the impact these global events have on each of us, and when necessary, being transparent about our implicit biases with our readers, viewers, and our colleagues. If our newsrooms are going to survive and grow, they have to be places that foster and embrace multiple perspectives. That means our newsrooms have to look like the communities we serve in as many ways as possible. That's the type of team we work hard to build right here at WCPO 9, and what I know so many of you are constantly working toward as well. So, who are we and what comes next? That's for each of us to decide. And if 2020 reminded us of anything, it's that the eyes of the world and the next generation of journalists are watching.
Kristen, very good comments. Thank you so much. We've now come to the final award of the night, and that's going to be presented by Cincy SPJ Chapter President, Jenny McCabe. Jenny?
What a wonderful evening we've had tonight. We've had some great winners and finalists announced, and our chapter is especially proud of each person who is a finalist and winner. Just also given the fact that we've had such a challenging year this year, I know our strong work continues to be represented through this program and through our chapter programs throughout the year. As I present our final award this evening, the Gerald White Memorial Award, this is our chapter's most prestigious award. It's presented by our chapter, and it's named in memory of longtime Cincinnati Enquirer investigative reporter Gerald White. The award is presented to an individual or team for excellence in investigative reporting in any media. Our finalists this year, 2020, the year that revealed us, by the Cincinnati Enquirer staff. And our winners are Stephanie Kuzidem and Eric Gerhardt with WKRC TV, Local 12, local12.com, for Matthew Mangine Jr. And the judges had this to say about this entry: superb investigative effort. Congratulations. As we wrap up our program this evening, we have a few more things. We have a video from Jack Greiner, and I'll turn it back over to Tom McKee.
Thank you very much, Jenny. We are very fortunate to have Jack Greiner as a Cincy SPJ Pro Chapter board member. His experience in the law of media is amazing. He's managing director of Graydon Law and is a nationally recognized the First Amendment and many other areas of journalism. Here are his thoughts from where the journalism stands now and where it needs to go in 2021 and beyond.
Hi, I'm Jack Greiner. I'm an attorney at the Graydon firm in Cincinnati, and it's my privilege to represent a number of media outlets, reporters, editors, broadcasters. I've done it for the last 26 years, and it's been a pleasure every day that I've gotten the chance to do it. The topic that I was asked to talk about was, what should the public expect from journalists after the previous year that featured the pandemic, the George Floyd murder, the protests, and everything else imaginable, it feels like. I think that, in my view, the public saw maybe the best of journalism. The idea that reporters and broadcasters were able to report on these momentous events thoroughly and accurately while having to maintain social distance, and in many cases not really having access to newsrooms as they traditionally had, I think shows the ability of the media. We're fortunate to have it. What I am concerned about is maybe two things in terms of public expectations. I'm worried a little bit that the public may feel that the media gets in the way of protest, or that they ought not be there, that they make the situation worse. And of course, that's completely opposite of the media's role. The media needs to be there in full force, reporting and holding a mirror up to what's going on. The other development that we've seen, not so much over the last year, but more over the last several years, is I think an increasing tendency of politicians, and public figures willing to bring defamation suits for coverage that they don't appreciate. That's a disturbing trend. And obviously, I hope that the public does not expect that the media will willingly go along with falsities and false narratives solely to avoid potential liability. So that's what I see, and I appreciate the opportunity. Thanks.
Wise counsel from Jack Greiner for sure. And our final video of the night comes from John Schertzer. He's the executive director of the National SPJ organization. And here are his thoughts on where we stand right now. John Schertzer.
Good evening. My name is John Schertzer, and I serve as the Executive Director of the Society of Professional Journalists. First, congratulations to the winners tonight, as well as the finalists. Was 2020 the most consequential year in news nationally in the last several decades? Historians can judge that, but for me, it certainly felt like it. And you were there, on the playing field, so to speak, getting the stories we all needed to hear in order to make sense of the chaos. All the while, you focused on your local community and how the greater Cincinnati region was impacted. What a service. What a purpose. What a mission. SPJ's mission is to be your champion, to create and maintain the conditions that allow you to thrive, and to be prepared to face an uncertain future for journalism with leadership. Through your work in that of SPJ's, I'm hoping we can rebuild the public's trust in journalism. They have expectations on us, and rightfully so. They expect us to act in accordance with SPJ's Code of Ethics. Trust me, the public knows about that code. I get plenty of phone calls about it. Second, the public expects us to be cognizant of worldviews and how they impact reporting. Worldviews are built upon many things, including race, gender, ethnicity, instilled values, and political ideology. Respecting that means more well-rounded perspective in our reporting. And third, the public expects us to be curious. In a sense, that's our calling card, right? We follow questions such as what if and could it be? The public expects us to dig deeper on stories, and if we show them that ethics, understanding, and curiosity lead to better information that they can use to make sense of the world around them, they may reject the misinformation, disinformation, and slanted reporting that today is so easy to consume. In short, we need to reclaim what journalism is and who journalists are. The journalism on display here tonight gets us closer to that goal. Congratulations again, and thank you for letting me be a part of this event.
Thank you, John Schertzer, as well. Well, that's our program tonight. I want to recognize Kevin Schultz, who is producing tonight's program. As you've seen the PowerPoint change and all the videos roll, Kevin's nimble fingers were responsible for that. Plus, I also want to thank all the Cincinnati SPJ chapter board members who were presenters as well. Excellent job by everybody from top to bottom. Now for the final thoughts on the evening, once again, Jenny McCabe.
Thank you again, everyone, and congratulations to all our winners and finalists. As we mentioned, I'd like to echo Tom McKee's words. Our board has had a tremendous role in this program, as well as we're a force behind all the journalists in our community. I say this every year, but we really have a strong journalism community in Cincinnati, as well as like our fellow peers in journalism. We all support each other and look out for each other through our work with our chapter. So I'm especially proud of our board. I'm also would like to give a shout out to our presenters tonight and those special guests who gave thoughtful words by video tonight. Thanks to everyone. And I want to encourage everybody to just keep up the great work throughout this coming year. I know 2020 for all of us was challenging in many ways. And I feel like 2021, we're still in the midst of some of these challenges, but I feel like there's a bright future ahead for all of us. Just a couple of housekeeping items about our awards. Since we weren't physically present to hand these out to you this year, we will be distributing those via your media outlets. So they'll be delivered to you or sent out by mail. There will be one copy of each plaque and certificate for each winner and finalist. And if you would like more, those are available for purchase, and you can email us at spjcincy@gmail.com. I also wanted to make a note, SPJ's annual convention is coming up in September, September 2 through 4, and registration is now open for that. It will be a hybrid conference this year, meaning you can feel free to join virtually or in person if you'd like to travel to New Orleans. So that's just spj.org, and you can sign up there for the registration, and the details are all there as well. So thank you again to each of you for joining us this evening, and have a great night.
Y'all, we can hang out for a minute if there's any questions or anything.
We have 12 attendees still on, 11.
Yeah, I was just hanging out in case people had follow-up questions.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the attendees to dwindle.